Good evening, peoples. Let's jump into Coney and Coin. Little, not bad. I mean, Coin and Coney are down. Could be worse. Obviously, they're winning their weeklies. They did, and they wrote another one. Um, I still am kind of in favor. Let me give you the statistics, and I'll share with you a thought. So on 828. This thing, there are two identical rows. So we pull back 4.08 in coin, went from 198 down to 190. We went down 3.47. So again, not capped, no issues there. So we're not dropping as much. So they put on some trades or a small amount of shares. No, there were no shares traded. So they didn't put on buy synthetic, sell short naked calls. But what they did do, because they were falling, right? We went from 211 and we had 215s and 217s that were written for this coming week last Friday. So that was a little scary, kind of like with Misty, right? That could have easily blown by it, but instead we've been going down. So on Monday I went to 204, then on Tuesday I went to 198, and then on Wednesday I went to 190. Sufficient for us to buy those back. Good job, fund manager, right? They only paid 19 and 16 cents for something they got $3 and, 280. So that's a big win, right? I realize the revenue might be small, but I would rather see them write a 2-day. They might only get 20 cents, but it's still income. And instead of giving the following week 7 trading days, but technically you're only giving them 6. So, I could see the argument either way, but I've never seen them do a short term. And I might just do that short term once in a while. And then again, you got on Friday, you can write a 4-day. You're really writing a week out the following Friday. It just happens to be 4 trading days. Because you got Labor Day in there. But so be it. It's 6 trading days out. And they got good revenue, but look, they did drop, right? Because they wouldn't have gotten as much because now down at 190. So it's not horrible. They're 9.1 and 7.78. The only thing that makes it a little more tolerable is it's 6 trading days because I got Thursday and Friday that Bitcoin could turn around and go up, and only 4 days in the following week. And again, 7 and 9% is nothing, but who knows? Um, Overall, I have no fault here. No, can't say anybody really screwed up. I will say they're actively managing. They had an opportunity to buy early, and that's what they did. So kudos for that. They took action. Can't ask for more than that. All right. And they continued the ladder, right? They had 2 different strike prices. So kudos. Um, let's take a look at what the weekly. So no additional synthetics put on. Now, as you could imagine, so we collected all of our income here. If you look back, I was trying to show you a little history on Coney here. So they've been winning, unlike Misty a few weeks ago that got clobbered. Coinbase so far in this month has really been winning their weeklies. Let's go back and see where they lost them. No? Well, they did have some they paid close to what they sold them for. That's just giving back some of the money you got, but it's not really losing money. There's still a gain. It's just not a big gain. Yeah, on most of these, they didn't have a very big gain, but they didn't have a big loss, right, to wipe out multiple weeks. And then they had a gain here, right? These are all great gains. These are, they only kept about 20% if I took a quick look. A little more on some of these. This one looked like only 20 cents. But these they won. I mean, 38 cents is getting up there, but it's not, so call it 85%. These, they clearly won, right? Nice. We may just win these. The only negative really is that the synthetic is coming down. We had like 28 million or something. So let's go look at some other stats. Nothing here, no real share count increase. Okay. So they weren't putting on additional synthetics. Let's go look at the weeklies. So in our weeklies, we went 205 and 207. Remember, this is the end. This is September 6th, the following Friday, right? Um, a week and a day from this coming 29 on Thursday, right? So a week from this Friday, with a holiday in there, Labor Day. We're down. The IV, the implied volatility, is actually up almost 4%, 68.55, which, if you look at the range, is still in the lower part of the range. So's Coney. Look at this. Our low's been 14.10. Now, don't hold me to that. Sometimes I don't update this, but I think that's pretty accurate. I'm not going to take your time to check right now. Let's go to holdings. Always tells us a lot, and this is where I wanted to share with you. There's always a yin and a yang, right? There's always a positive to pulling back, winning your weeklies, in the sense that that's the positive. The negative, it means that the synthetic, whenever you're going backwards, we have synthetics at 210, 200, 195. So when we were up, let me go show you this. When we were up at 211 right here, on last Friday, we were making a tiny bet. Sorry, my mouse. All right. So this 210 was barely profitable, but it was profitable. Now it's down 24 million. This guy at 200 was pretty profitable, right? It's the smallest count, but it was profitable. And this 195 was very profitable, right? So look now, every single one of them, since we're down at 190, we don't have anything that low. Now, we can go right back up. And that's the mixed bag game. That's a yin and yang. In the perfect world, we end up at 205 next Friday on the 6th. We keep all the money we wrote on our 205, and we keep all the money we wrote on our 207.50. And then our synthetic, this guy's making money, this guy's making really good money, and this guy isn't very far behind. He's $5 behind. So that's the logic here, people. If nothing more, you really start figuring out these income funds, right? Whether you're in options, you really got it all or not, you start getting the gist. You always want to be within that strike price or real close to it, so you collect good income, right? You got to keep all that you wrote. The very worst thing that can happen to the fund is we write them out 6%, and in that week they go up 18%. All that extra 12% is just eating the majority of the synthetic, because the synthetic is a long bet. So you don't end up with much gain. That's really what happened to Tesla. Not only did it lose when it went way down, it got capped a lot when it went back up. So you look at Kaplan, you look at Tesla, and you say, well, I've been in it since the inception. You're not up very much. When you add those 28, 7, 28, whatever the number is, in all the dollars you've collected in income, and then you look at your NAV loss with a reverse split and everything, you might have a 3 or 4% gain in 20 months. That's not much of a gain. In that case, if you held the underlying and just wrote some covered calls once in a while yourself, you're like way ahead of the game. And that's what happens in the income fund when it doesn't do just within the dynamics of the fund, what the fund allows, right? Or what the fund can tolerate. So I think that's why we're seeing changes coming, people. If you want to know what I said a lot more, go to Misty. It's a long rant, but I'm not going to do that again here. All right. So we're slightly behind because we wrote these on Wednesday and then the market proceeded to go up a little more. No big deal with 6 trading days and 8 calendar days. It's more than that. Yeah, 8 calendar days and 6 trading days. You're behind here 5%. No big deal. It doesn't matter. So we closed at 1651 and fair value is 1650. I may have missed a day here, but this is legit, right? This is our current 33. I'm combining them all. They're keeping all three of these strikes for now. I suspect they'll roll out of these at some point. Um, this one is obviously they're going to stay here unless they get back up around 220 or 230 and they want to take them off so they can collect a bunch of income. These are still far enough out that it's not a problem yet for several more weeks. All right, so I mean, you can see here we're back to 33 million. We were just about there probably 4 or 5 days ago. I haven't just perfectly updated. These are all legit numbers, but they might be 2 days old, 3 days old, 4 days old. This is today. All right, guys. So let me show you on payouts because that's what else is relevant, right? And we added some money here, right? We're counting that new 8 million that we have out to the week of 9/6. So we need that to work this week because they're going to, what's declaration? I know pay date is the 9th. Probably declaration is the 7th. Okay, does that make sense? Let me look at these days in September because it can't be a weekend day. Yeah, if payday is Monday the 9th, it's probably the 5th or 6th that we have. I'll double check it. It's not that important just at this moment. Um, but knowing there's really 2 more weeks to sort of write calls. But in this case, we're already settled for this week. We've already written the call out to 9/6. Only if people buy the fund will they write a small number of additional contracts. Okay. So our total of all synthetic now profit of 12 million. Nope. Now loss of 33 million, right? So it gets harder and harder to collect money like that. But if you want to know my best guess at this, I have a gut that they win these, that they're going to keep their weeklies. This is going to be an interesting one. I think, remember, if you listen to Misty, unless Misty really falters more, no necessarily fault of its own, unless Bitcoin just really sells off and goes back into the 50s or low 53 from 59, then Misty may not pay a dollar, but I think Misty's probably going to pay a dollar. Coney probably will pay a dollar. I mean, they've earned 58 cents. Now, granted, that means they got to keep these. They could have one more shot at adding some more income. So this is definitely interesting. If I had to give you, and I am only going to give you a range right now. This weekend I'll update, but I don't think anything's going to change on that. I would say my best guess would be 55 cents to 99 cents right now. It could go a dollar, but something stellar probably needs to happen to go another dollar because they weren't doing well last time when they paid the dollar. And it's only so long that they can dip into ROC or other kinds of things. All right. So that 33 million is a loss, okay, of if you take 33.40 first, That's like 80 cents or more. So you're talking about 80 cents in addition. Now they don't have to take that. It's a paper loss, right? But the fund's going to look at it like it's sitting on that. That's why if it moves up, doesn't wreck these, gives the fund a little more confidence that maybe that gets to be a 12 million paper loss. Okay, maybe we'll stretch this and you got 70 or 80 cents over here. Maybe we'll pay another dollar. So that's why I explain what I explain. We're trading at 1558. The IV is 68%. So let's see what kind of number it takes to get to that, right? It's going to take, if they want to, how there's guys out there that say, well, they're going to target and pay the IV. I don't always believe that. I mean, sure, I agree that it's kind of a target. It's something they look at, but I don't think they always do that. So, yeah, you're talking 88 cents if they want to follow the IV, right? Even 89 cents. Because I just ran a new IV today, right? And it's like 68 something. So there you go. Are we going to get 89 cents? Maybe. They got a hole this week. They lose this week. I'm not so sure. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. Again, Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence. Talk to a professional financial advisor. Okay, guys, have a great one. Enjoy the rest of this trading week. All right. And have a great holiday. Got a 3 day. Hopefully, you're off. Most people are. Certainly not all industries. All right. Bye for now.